Welcome to the Wellness Biz Academy, where we turn passionate practitioners into profitable practice owners. I'm Cass Duffield, corporate business strategist and naturopath, showing you how to build a thriving practice with simple, proven systems that work. Let's create the practice that you long to have, because it's time to start living your passion and growing your practice. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the podcast. I'm excited for you to meet my guest today. She is an amazing entrepreneur, an amazing businesswoman, but she's also someone I have the privilege of calling a friend. I have Tara for you today. Tara is someone who specializes in helping business owners and entrepreneurs with systems, tech, and optimization so they can run a more efficient business that generates more revenue. So welcome, Tara. Thank you for joining me today.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So look, just start us off. Give us a little bit of an indication of how you ended up doing what you're doing, helping business owners and entrepreneurs.
It's always been a running joke my entire life that I'm super organized. And so I was like, well, I could be an assistant because I'm super organized. I just need to figure out the tech side, because it's really ironic, but I've always been a technophobe, even though I specialize in tech now. So I did, but actually It's now what I love sitting here and playing with all sorts of software. So I got a personal assistant's job, which I did for about a year, which was great. I learned all sorts. And then I was still struggling a bit with my health. And I was like, well, what do I want to do now? So I decided to take the plunge, absolutely the scariest thing ever, and set up my own business, because then no matter what happened with my health, I could sort out my own schedule. I could get to appointments if I needed to. And I am an inherent people pleaser, but a people pleaser with boundaries, so it's fine. Yeah. And I just wanted to be able to help other people. And from doing the different bits of work, I found that actually, ironically, the technical side of stuff was what I enjoyed. And one of the biggest things entrepreneurs say that they stops them in their business from scaling or growing is the tech side. I've just had my 2-year business birthday in October.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So I'm loving it. It's great.
Oh, that's awesome. And, you know, that's what I love about your story, because everyone listening to this podcast know that two things. I'm a very big advocate of creating a business that suits your life, creates the lifestyle that you need and that you want. And also an advocate of building a business that suits your issues, health issues, etc., whatever you might have, because I also have chronic health issues, as people know who listen to the podcast regularly. So I think that those things shouldn't mean that people have to leave the workforce. It means that we need adaptations, and it means that we get to create businesses that suit the needs that we have. So that's something that I really resonate with in your story, and something I really wanted us to share, because it doesn't matter what field you want to work in. I think there's ways and means to make a business for yourself that is going to suit that. The other reason I wanted to talk to Tara today is because she is so amazing at the tech and the systems and optimizing everything to make sure your business runs more efficiently, and so you can make as much money as you can out of that business, which is what we want. So that's why we're here today. We're going to talk more about how we can be bringing systems and optimization into our business and how we can be using tech to our advantage. So first up, Tara, let's just give a brief overview for people of why it is so important that they start to systemize and optimize their business where possible.
I think there's this common preconception that tech is difficult and tech's going to take so much time to set up. But the reality is it actually is simple and it's not scary. And having tech in your business, whether that's management software or email marketing and automations and funnels, what it actually does is it takes away from the day-to-day of what you having to do, especially when it comes to marketing, lead generation, making sure your client experience is good. If you simply look at an onboarding, you can fully automate an onboarding experience and it becomes the best experience for your client because it was easy. Working with you being easy builds trust. Trust makes people either stay with you or recommend you, and then you get retention. If you invest either the money for somebody to do it for you, which is usually what I say is the best thing to do, or a bit of time, it can actually improve your business, not just from a efficiency side, but from a success side as well.
That's right. And I think there's so many ways that can be utilized, because looking at that from the natural health practitioner side of things, we can often think that, there is nothing like onboarding in that world, but there actually is. When I ran my clinic, and one of the reasons it became so successful was the onboarding process, because I put in an automated process. I called it the Health Haven Way. And it delivered what they needed. It delivered some onboarding forms. It delivered a series of videos that I wanted them to know, health-related content. And it actually was about making my time freer, because these were things that I would normally spend time on in consults sharing with patients. So having this in the portal in what I call the Health Haven Way made that onboarding process so much easier. But it was really funny, Tara, because when I had that, my clients then got the value from that. They would actually say, do I get that free course that my friend got when they came to work with you? It added so much value for them, more than I expected, because it was such a great process and they saw so much value in it. So I agree with you. There's a lot of different ways we can be using that optimization and that tech. But tell me, while we're thinking tech, and I know a lot of people listening, when we say tech, probably the biggest part of tech that comes to mind for them is my website. My website's probably the biggest thing on my mind. Tell me, what's the biggest mistake you find people are making? Because we're all trying to get traffic to our websites. That's where people need to come to buy or to book in with us. What's the biggest mistake you see people making there?
When it comes to a website, you have to remember you literally have 3 seconds to pull someone in. That's it. That's all you've got. So whatever is on your screen, which is what we call the top of the fold, like the fold is when you start to scroll, those bits and pieces on there with their headlines, their copy, their images have to hook people. So especially on your homepage of your website, that bit has to tell those people who you are, what you do, and why they need you within 3 seconds. It's making sure you make that impact, but not doing it in a way that isn't you.
We were chatting earlier before we started recording, and you were saying that generally you find there's sort of 5 main areas where businesses and entrepreneurs are sort of able to optimize, systemize, use better tech, etc. Do you want to run through those for us?
Yeah, so I always say when you're running a business, you need usually 5 systems. And it sounds really basic to people, but actually when you're in business and maybe you're trying to scale or you're trying to grow and you're not sure where your problem is, 9 times out of 10, what I find is it's people's foundations of their business. The simple, basic softwares within their business mean that they can't scale consistently because they haven't got the foundations in place to support that. So I always say you need a storage system. So for me, I use Google Drive, but there's Dropbox and a few others. You need, obviously, an inbox. I use Outlook, but there's Gmail and stuff like that. Email marketing and funnels. There's loads of different ones. Free ones that are good are MailerLite. I use Kit, but then you can have the Go High levels, which have everything in them anyway. A management system. I use Asana, but there's Trello, ClickUp, those sorts of things. And then a creation system. I use Canva, but there's Adobe and stuff like that as well. And they are the pillars of the foundations within your business. How many people do you know that have a storage system like Google Drive and it's a mess? Like a flat out mess.
I think pretty much everyone can wave their hand and put their hand up right now going, yeah. And actually, while we're talking, can you come clean my Canva? Anyway, back to the story.
Because the thing, like, we don't think about, whereas if you had your storage system set up where it was put into folders, color-coded, and then you had a process that every time you needed to store a document or a video, you had a standard operating procedure that you did so that it comes like clickwork and it becomes a habit. It would become automatic that you stored it like that, and it would mean that you could immediately say, I need a contract for such and such. Oh, it'll be in that folder. Go find it. And it's as simple as that with a lot of things, and just making sure that you simplify what you're doing. When I set up people in Asana, I track leads and clients at what stages they're at and email marketing. It makes stuff super simple. because everything's linked there. So if I want to look at the performance of a product I've created, for example, I go into that product's board and know that all the information that I need is within that board and it links to everywhere. When you create something like that, I would say I save clients on average about 5 hours a week, because it is simply that everything's done in the same way. And super simple. Whatever is a task that you consistently do all the time, that can probably be automated and it can be done for you. It's just having the basics in place, but knowing that they're really strong, they're connected to everything else within your business, and that they do it for you. Because that's the time that we lose the most, is faffing about in our emails and replying to this client here. Whereas if we had templates set up, which could literally be edited and sent in 2 seconds in a response to an email from a client, or like we said earlier, the onboarding process, you click 2 buttons, the entire onboarding process is sent for you.
That's right.
It's
about having
really,
systems,
important.
isn't it? That they don't have to be excessively complicated. They don't have to be excessively expensive. What you're talking about here are systems that are easy, but very robust on their own, and that can work together very well. And the other one that a lot of the people in my audience are going to have, where others might have a CRM, a lot of the people in my world have practice management software. So they might be in Clinico or Practice Better or Simple Clinic or things like that. And, so it's about integrating what you need to be able to keep everything together. I don't use Asana, but I use Trello in a really similar way. And I've got the business hub in Trello, and everything I do is in there. Should my platform crash and I lose a program, everything's in there, so I can just copy and paste and rebuild it, should the need arise. So these things don't have to be complex or overwhelming. They just have to be completed and robust. And that's a big problem I find people. They start these processes and then they don't finish. So it's only half the thing that they need. So set up your systems and then do it, and do it regularly.
And it's also, it's thinking about when you're doing things in business, if you have something new, or if, like I said, you have a process that you do quite a lot, but it may need to be a manual process, because some things are, like, you can't automate everything. But it's maybe creating a standard operating procedures section. I set one up for a client last year, and it meant that when she hired 3 new team members this year, she didn't have to train any of them, because she literally said, here's our standard operating procedures. This is how we do everything in our business. There's information in there. There's videos in there. Please go take yourself through it, do all the training, and come back to me with any questions. And the 2 weeks it would have taken her one-on-one to train them, it got rid of.
That's right.
And then when they were going through starting themselves in business, like the first month or so, when there's usually a lot of questions and, is this right or that's right? Instead of going to her all the time, they fell back on the SOP board, because all the information was there. And I understand that stuff like this can take a little bit of time, but if you look at yourself in 5 years, and maybe you're starting in business now, or you've been in business for a while, but you've maybe not got full-time team members, etc. But in 5 years, you have a vision that you want 3 team members covering an array of areas. Do you want to train them for 2 to 3 weeks, or do you want your SOPs to do it for you? Question to ask yourself.
Oh, it's so true, isn't it? And I think we always have to be building with the future in mind. I always say start the way you plan to finish. You don't start your business planning to be a hobbyist that makes $20,000 a year and then disappear in 5 years. You plan to come in, have growth, be successful, whatever your version of success looks like. So you need to be planning your systems to be able to support that. And I think it's a really great idea having those operating procedures there, particularly for those times when you've got to employ someone. It's going to make life so much easier. The other thing we were talking about before as well, because the other part of your business that's quite big is funnel building. You help a lot of businesses building out the tech for their funnels. Funnels are a key part of any business that's running an online arm. Tara, do you want to quickly run us through funnels and your take on them, and the sort of funnels that you do for clients?
Yeah, so I typically build out sales funnels because, let's face it, who wants to personal outreach to sell every place on their program or their one-to-one? They show your expertise and your knowledge, because often funnels start with something free, so like a lead magnet or a free masterclass, ebooks. So somebody can get that. And there's a real big misconception that you shouldn't give away too much. You shouldn't give away your secrets. But actually, in the world that we're in and the biopsychology, it comes back to perceived value. So from what you were saying earlier, your clients are like, oh, do I get the free course as well? You were just giving that because it helps, whereas they thought they were getting something for free, perceived value. So if somebody can have the thought process of, oh my, this is her free offering and I've got a transformation from it already. Imagine what it would be like to work with her. Imagine the results I could get, the transformations I could get, and what a difference it could make to me in my business. So having a strategically set up funnel for conversion literally takes all of the stress away from having to be in your DMs 24/7, marketing, being in every single place all the time, because you market your lead magnet. It goes everywhere. People go and download it. They get taken to a thank you page, which has a low priced offer on it. It's a no-brainer price. A lot of people doing them at $7. Some people doing them at $27, $47. Anything below $100 is where you want to stick. But it also makes it a no-brainer because people can say, oh, that's $27. Well, that's not a lot. I got so much value from her free offer. I'll just buy that quickly. And then you go to checkout, which you can have a tiny order bump, which matches whatever your low priced offer is, say $17. Okay, well, that's still a no-brainer. It's still under like $50. Oh, I'll get that as well. And then if you're a person that decides to run paid ads, the money that you make from that covers your ad costs, or it covers just making a bit of extra money in your business. And also it takes them more through the know, like, and trust. And from there, they'll go through your automated email sequence. Now, in a nurture sequence, it depends on what you do, who your ideal client is. There's often between 5 and 10 emails. I run mine at the 6 emails because you have a delivery email and then you run through the sequence. And at the end of the sequence, you'll go into a sales sequence, because by then you've given them value within your email sequence. You can give them more stuff. Like, I have a free masterclass in mine and options to buy some of my templates, and they get to know you. They get to know you as a person. And so that when it comes to your sales sequence and your sales page, they get there and they go, this is what I need. Like, she's showing me how much value she gives, how much she wants to help people. And I feel like I really resonate with her. So this now is a no-brainer for me to buy because I know I'll get results from it.
That's right.
And the best thing about all of this is, apart from the first stage where you're marketing that lead magnet, all of that does it on its own. It's all programmed, it's all automated, it's strategized, and it goes and does that on its own. The only thing that person needs to do is download your lead magnet.
That's right. And it's such a great process because we need to be building this into our businesses. It's a great way to start building our list, building our client base. And the people that put that little bit of skin in the game by buying something, we know they're more likely to become a client or a higher ticket client at least. And the other thing I find in my business is most people buy these low ticket offers evenings and weekends. The time that I wouldn't be able to get on a discovery call with them anyway, that's when I sell the most of these. And on flipping that coin, last weekend I spent $500 in someone's low ticket sequence, getting the $27, then this, then that. At the end of it, I added up, it's like $470 I've just spent on little things. So these things can add up if you're not careful. But the whole point of it is nurturing someone through, showing them that you are value, that it is worth spending money to work with you. And you're just pushing them through that process so much more quickly of getting to know you. It's said a lot online that people buy from people. And that is true. But I also like to add to that people buy from people they like. So giving them ways to get to know us through that funnel is important.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're marketing yourself through social media and different platforms, people don't see everything. So they might not know about you. But whatever goes into your inbox, as long as people decide to open it, they see it all. So it's really important within that sequence to have an intro to you, and don't hold back, because people really, really nosy and they want to know who you are and why you do something. And with a funnel, people often say there's like 3 parts. There's the top part, which is lead generation, there's conversion, there's nurture, and then there's conversion, but there's actually a 4th one, which is retain. And if people know, like, and trust you, they know where they stand and they've had a good experience working with you, you're going to retain them as clients down the line. And quite frankly, retaining a client is much easier than getting a brand new client. So it's worth thinking about.
And the referrals. It's funny because the funnel that I use in my business that I teach my clients, and a lot of people that are listening to this have probably seen it, the bottom level of mine, I actually call that delight, where we deliver the service, we go above and beyond. They love us so much, they tell everybody about it. It's funny how we all take a sales funnel and we tweak it a little bit to suit the business model we're working with. But that's so true. We've got to start to really bring it back to the client and how it's helping them and the solution that we're offering. So really, really good points. Hey, just to start to wrap up today's session, so people listening right now, if you were going to tell them the one thing to start to do right now today to start to make a difference in their business, what would it be?
If you don't have an email list, you need one.
I like it.
End the story. I focus on tech and I specialize in funnels, and that's my main thing I love doing. I am that person that sits in my little office and plays in the back end of people's websites and things, and I love it. But the thing that you've got to remember, especially at the moment, is converting someone through social media is between 1% and 3% at the moment. That's if you're lucky. Exactly. So if you want 10 sales, you need a lot of people. And it's great to nurture people in there and show them why you're the expert and why they should come to you. And then you can obviously market your lead magnet. It's a great place for that. But for sales,
not so
depends where you're at. But email list. Your conversion rate in your email list at the moment are any point between like 30 and 40%.
That's right.
That makes a huge difference. And then every time you have somebody that downloads your freebie, they go on your email list. And they start to see the free value. They start to see your personality. They start to see you as a person, why you do what you do, because your story behind why you do what you do is so powerful because everybody's different. And that's when people really start to see your USP, your unique selling point of why you are the expert and why they need you. So that when it comes to you either decide to do a big massive launch or you just decide to put out a new funnel to launch, when you go to send that sales email, they're so much more likely to buy because you've nurtured them, you've spent time with them, you have made them feel like they're the most important person in your business. And for me, connection is huge. So I would every day take an email list over any form of social media because there's so much more personal connection.
It's so true. And this is exactly everything that I keep saying to everybody I'm working with and everybody in my audience. So I'm glad we're singing the same tune. But it is so true. Your conversion rates will be better. You've got ownership of your email list. So if there's no other tech and systems happening in your business right now, everybody, it's time to start an email list. So look, that's been a really great conversation. Thank you so much for sharing all of those insights with us. I hope everyone's got some great takeaways from today. I know that I'm actually going to go and start organizing my Canva and my Google Drive. And then I'm probably going to email Tara and go, can you help me do my SOPs? But look, great tips there. And I think really important to get some of those activated in our businesses so we can start to move forward and create the success that we want to have. So Tara, thank you so much for being here today. It's been great to chat to you.
Thank you for having me. I've had a great time.
Oh, you're welcome. And I look forward to having you again soon. Thanks so much. Thank you for listening to the Wellness Business Academy podcast with me, Kaz Duffield. If you are interested in growing your practice, come get my free guide, The Practice Success Toolkit, at kazduffield.com or grab it in the show notes. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.